Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna from Flippin' Ain't Easy, and your favorite co-host is back by popular demand. The feedback, she doesn't believe me, but got a lot of good feedback from her being on last week, so I had to talk her into joining us today, and she reluctantly, not because she didn't want to be here, but she just really thought I was BSing her about some of you guys wanting to, or gals wanting to hang out with her as well. So before we get started, first of all, happy Halloween. As you can see,
Happy Halloween.
As you can see, got the orange going on behind me, and I almost wore a mask, but it actually improved things. So I decided against it this time. But got the orange going on, and hopefully we get a pretty good turnout. It is Halloween, so when you're watching this, it's probably not Halloween, but when this was recorded, it's Halloween, and there are probably quite a few of you, more than likely on the East Coast, that are probably hanging out with family and doing the Halloween thing. So it is what it is, but I like to do these live streams on Monday, and sometimes on a holiday Monday when, depending on the holiday, we'll do it or not. Now she's reading the comments while I'm talking. So, but real quick, if you're watching this live, please help participate. Again, we're going to try to do this for about an hour, hour and a half, depending on how things go. Comment and questions in the chat would be great if you guys could. If you're watching this after the fact, sorry you couldn't make it. Hopefully you can get some good stuff out of this. But comment down below. And either way, no matter how you're watching it, all I ask is, hit that like button, and that lets the algorithm know that we're doing this, and it just helps get the word out about the channel. So I appreciate that. What I wanted to talk about, and a lot of times I'll go online and I'll start reading stuff about eBay and comment in the forums and stuff like that, like I usually do. And I've talked about this many times on this channel, and I almost kind of want to put this to bed because I'm kind of tired of talking about it. But and I know that there's some of you guys right now who don't agree with me at all, and that's fine. I'm allowed my opinion. You're allowed yours. And certainly comment on this video if you want to sort of defend your position on this topic. But I mean, honestly, if we're thinking about being serious about our business, so let's say you do this part-time, but you really need the money. Let's say you do this full-time, and like I do, and this is your source of income. And maybe it's your only source of income. Maybe you have multiple streams, which you should. You still need to treat it seriously, and you need to treat it as a business. And there's no business I've ever seen. You can't walk into a Walmart. There's no, unless you're talking about some kind of a strange store, brick and mortar store, where they're saying you can't return an item. Okay. So the topic that what I'm talking about in the teaser is some sellers keep doing this and it makes no sense. And that is, there's a lot of sellers out there who will have a no returns policy attached to their listing, and nothing screams don't buy me any louder than having a no returns policy. It tells the seller, or actually the buyer, that there might be a potential problem. You're going to deal with a percentage of people who are looking at your listings that don't trust buying online anyway. They're very careful, and it just comes off as sketchy, if I'm just being honest with you. And I guess the question I have for you is, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? The bottom line is, eBay doesn't respect your no returns policy. And
we've never even been successful at it. They've even a year ago or 2 years ago, when we went full time, we had no returns on some auction items, and they still came back. Well, eBay doesn't care.
Let me put it this way. We had some parts repair items. Of course, someone wants to maybe pick these items up. Maybe they could repair, maybe they can use them, part it out. And we put parts of repair very clearly and put in the title, in the description, no returns on this item, right? And we'd put no returns. This is before, we really learned our lesson. And someone would get it and they'd fix it or not fix it, and then they'd make something up and send it back. And we still were on the hook for paying the return label. We were still on the hook of returning the item. I get it. You get something that's broken, you don't want it back. You don't want to have to bother with it. You're almost like borderline in some cases. Should I just throw this out and not bother, or should I just list it, put no returns, and be done with it? But you're not done with it, because that buyer still can force a return on you. And there's so many sellers out there that are very stubborn to the fact that they will allow a return request to come through and they will ignore it, and they will act like the return doesn't exist, and they will fight eBay, and they'll let the thing time out, and then they'll post these comments on here on these forums saying not only did I lose the item, I lost the money. Well, that's on you. You didn't follow through. See, here's the thing. If you don't agree with eBay's policies, you shouldn't be selling on the platform. Okay. Don't fight them every step of the way. Now, you'll hear me complain. You'll hear me talk about, eBay's policies. I don't agree. This is my personal opinion. I don't agree with eBay allowing sellers to put a no returns policy if they're not going to allow the seller to have a no returns policy. Meaning that if a seller marks an item as is and is very clear with it, and they have a policy set up stating no returns, eBay should, in my opinion, in my experience, should honor that policy short of fraud. So if you're maybe offering someone a cassette player and you send them a broken whatever, and it's not even close to what it is, then the buyer should have some recourse. But short of that, and if you can prove otherwise, and there's photos and videos that you sent the right item and they sent you something back, whatever, if it's fraudulent, then eBay should have your back at every step of the way. But what happens is these buyers force a return, sellers get mad because eBay doesn't have their back, and they don't fully understand how eBay works if they're getting mad and they're allowing their return request to time out, and they're losing on both ends of the deal. And so I see this almost on a daily basis where someone posts that they have no returns, and eBay is this particular title of this. Some of you guys read the boards, but this particular title says eBay assists buyer to commit fraud. Now, how did eBay assist anything? eBay has policies. So if you don't understand as a seller the policies, and it behooves each and every one of us to know the policies, if we're seriously selling on eBay, especially if you're selling higher end items, you should really know the policies and know what you're getting into. But buyers are going to lie. And it's a very, very small percentage of the buying population who's going to go that far. But I've said this before, when buyers do things that maybe are dishonest, and you end up losing in the long run, or even the worst thing you lose is the cost of a return label, it stings. I get it. But at the same time, don't sell on the platform if you don't understand the rules, and then get mad when something happens and it doesn't go your way. So shame on the sellers that don't know the rules and then get surprised when something like that goes down. But I guess the question that I have to each and every one of you who offer a no returns policy is why? What are you afraid of? What are you hiding? What are you afraid is going to happen? It's like this monsters under the bed mentality that, we're afraid that something's going to happen every day. I couldn't imagine running my business worrying about, oh man, I don't know if I should list this item because what if a scammer scams me on it? I'm eager to list higher end items. That's some of the first things I want to list. And for me, I don't worry about those things. Yeah, they happen to me, but why not give yourself a boost in the algorithm and at the very least, offer a return policy, 30-day return, and buyer pays. I have a lot of items that are buyer pays and a lot that are free returns, but you're not only is the buyer able to return your item on your no return policy, you're actually hurting your ranking in search by having a no return policy. So either you're serious about this or you're not, and your fears about being defrauded is not serious. So maybe find a platform that will cater to your panic. But I want to see everyone succeed, and it just drives me absolutely nuts when I deal with someone or they, say, hey, check out my store, and the first thing you see is no returns, and it's like, do you not want to sell this item? I mean, who are you trying to sell this item to? And while they may get sales, they're not going to get nearly the amount of sales that they get if they just fix their policies, and that's one of them. We talk about handling time, we talk about your returns policy, we talk about all the different things that go into it. And I really think that eBay wants to see you have a very customer friendly set of policies, and your return policy, especially going into the holiday season. You're up against other platforms that give more than 30 days. So why make it even more difficult to sell your item with a just insane policy? And if eBay is not going to back our policies, then they should just get rid of it to begin with and not even make that an option as far as I'm concerned.
If they aren't going to back it up, then they shouldn't allow us to make our own policies anyway.
Right. And the reality is, look, this is your business. And unfortunately, eBay doesn't see it that way. They see you as one cog in the wheel on their platform. And unfortunately, they don't care about how you want to run your business. They are basically there to tell you how you're going to run your business. And you need to know that going in before you start getting, involved in selling on a serious level on eBay, because you have to play the rules by what they set. This isn't your brick and mortar store where you can tell someone no shoes, no shirt, no service, get out of here. Yeah, you can block people, but half the time you don't even know who's buying your stuff before you can even block them. So, I guess my point is that, first of all, learn the policies on eBay. And hopefully a lot of these videos will make you aware of the policies if you're not already aware of it. But don't get surprised when something goes haywire and it's because you didn't know, what went down. And number two, accept the fact that you don't have 100% control over your own business on eBay. Just accept it. And once you do that, a lot of the stress will go away, because it's such a small percentage of the time when things like that happen. But when I see things like this person had 5 situations, and then they called and spoke to a bunch of agents at eBay, and they got the rep. So what? They got the rep to admit that these weren't fraudulent. These were fraudulent. So what? They still got the same result. eBay forced them to take the return, and they let it time out, and they lost $140. So don't let that be you. And, learn from not only what kind of stuff I see on the boards, but learn from what we talk about here on the channel. The worst thing I think any seller can do is have a no returns policy, bottom line. All right. So that's me off my soapbox. Want to say hi. We have Prosser, Independent Trading in the house. We have Kevin Hawthorne. We have No One Design 2. Eagles Can Fly. Lori Eck is in the house. Biff Boffo. Who else do we have? Ed's in the house. And you know what I forgot to do? I meant to set up some folks for moderation. So, of course, I failed this time.
I reminded him multiple times.
Yes. And, here's my defense. My defense is about noon today, I came down with a nasty migraine. And I'm still kind of feeling, I tried to lay down, took the migraine medicine. That took the headache away, but I still kind of feel just kind of weak. But it is what it is. It happens to me every once in a while. And I scrambled to make up that lost time and was listing outside. And, here I am, and I just totally spaced it. So I'm going to make it a point. I know that we have some folks who wanted to, who wouldn't mind moderating. So again, let me know if, I think Ed was going to do it, and a couple others. So let me know if you're interested. I'll be glad to set that up. I need to set that up, because the last thing we need is some more of those idiot posts that come along, these bots that, try to spam you. And I was asking Jenna, I'm like, who tunes into a live stream about eBay, and then they see a porn post with a link, and who says, you know what, I tuned in for reselling, but let's go watch some porn? I mean, who does that?
Not me.
So, I mean, why even bother with that? I don't see how. I mean, if you're watching a show about lingerie, maybe that got you in the mood to like click on a little porn action, but eBay?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. So I apologize.
think they just go to any channel that's live and just start throwing their junk all over the place.
Well, I apologize in advance if it happens, but
it's gonna happen.
It'll happen, but hopefully. And my thing is, I need to get to the comments faster.
If you were to,
I know, because you want to get updated, but I want to say hi to some folks here.
No, I'm not saying don't say hi. I'm just saying you can roll down to the bottom where they are and then roll back up.
Know, but then I missed like half the conversation. So we'll just kind of speed through it if we can here. But we have Biff Boffo in the house. I think I've said that, but I'll say it again. Miriam S, Carl Becker, Art Betzold, Ping G, Mad City Resell is in the house. Top the Flip. And I'm sure there's many others. Tommy's in the house. Okay, I see him down there. Okay, so let's see. I think No One Design is trick-or-treating today, so he may or may not be in the house, but he does say, "Hey, John and Miss Nina Dobrev, mom."
I looked her up. I looked nothing.
No, but did you look up her mom? It says mom. Go look up her mom. No, I didn't. That sucks that he thinks you're someone's mom.
I am someone's mom.
I know that, but okay. Disgruntled Octopus says, I dressed up as a human this year. It was pouring in Canberra. What is Canberra?
Where is Canberra?
Yeah, where is Canberra?
And I dress my cat.
I think we need to move the camera more to John's left. You guys suck. All right. Noah Design, I dressed up as an eBay return notification for Halloween.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I want to maybe get a sign that says no returns and just walk around. That'll fit. Ed's in the house. So awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's see if I can get to a question here. Biff Boffo says, I offer free 30-day returns, and so far no one has taken me up on it. Knock on wood. Yeah, it's going to be a small percentage, right? And if they want to return it bad enough, they're going to find a way. Ed says, do you think it's a reason why people are hesitant to shop more on platforms like Posh and Mercari because it's only 3 days that they let decide, unlike eBay? I think in the case of Mercari, it's just that from the buyers that I've dealt with, that the price just isn't low enough for them. It's really like a yard sale kind of mentality. You're not going to get full, like Poshmark. It's kind of opposite. You're going to get more on Poshmark than you will on eBay for some of the clothing items, from my experience. But and they have the similar policies. So I just think it's just hard to say. It's hard to say why. I
think people find it more of a hassle too.
Yeah,
they don't want to have to do all that. People are lazy nowadays.
I mean, who wants to go to the post office?
Not me. Not after what happened.
Well,
but even still,
yeah, even before then, who wants to go to the post office? So, let's see, what do we got? Ping G, all the buyer has to say is that the item is not as described. eBay's money back guarantee trumps the seller's no returns policy. Seller will pay for the return shipping label. Exactly. Let's see, talking about Halloween here. Hit the like button on the way in, peeps. Yes, please do that. We have about 61. I don't expect to have 100, 150 today because, there's people who like candy more than me. So I get it. Ed says,
sometimes I do too.
Bad buyers always lie. Not always, but most of the time. Mad City Resellers, I've been having buyers message in with a complaint, but never ask for a return. I sense a scammer. But then, here's the thing. When you get someone that's kind of beating around the bush and they send you that message saying, this item is, missing this, or it's not as whatever as I thought it was, you can simply say, we sent you this item. I'm sorry you didn't read the listing or whatever it was. And you're welcome to open a return. And if you made a mistake, maybe that's your chance to offer. We talk about not offering partial refunds, but as a general rule, that's my rule. I don't offer partial refunds unless I can identify I've screwed up, and the buyer would be happy if I say, look, you spent $80. What if I give you $10 back or $15 back, which is probably going to be the cost of my label anyway. And if you can make use of it, if that blemish or whatever that wasn't outlined in the listing is something you can live with, I'll be glad to give you 10 to $15 back. Otherwise, open a return. I'm open about it. Here's your options. People like options. If you tell them, here's only thing that you can do. Like maybe they don't really want to return the item, but maybe they're dissatisfied that you screwed up in the listing. It's time to exercise some customer service skills and to give them.
I see where he's coming from. I see that, yeah, that would probably be the first thought in my head too, but I would send the message as if he wasn't a scammer. And then depending on the response you get, then you can assume that he's a scammer, because these people, they're everywhere. They're on every platform and they know how to play the game. But you come back with the best customer service you can, and then you go from there. After that, depending on where the conversation goes, you block them.
The bottom line is just use your best judgment, and don't say in your mind from the beginning, because the moment you start thinking, oh, this could be a scammer, you're going to look for scams, right? Mm-hmm. So be open and honest with yourself, and then, message the buyer. If they come at you with photos, okay, and it's the same item you ship them, and there's maybe something that you didn't identify, or maybe you missed an excess or whatever it is, yeah, you need to do right by the buyer and offer a return, and or if you like to offer a partial refund. That's totally up to you, but don't allow the buyer. See, one thing is when the buyer comes at me and asking for a partial refund, mm-hmm. that means they like the item. They just want some of their money back. Yeah. And to me, that cancels that. Unless I can really identify that I screwed up, that's there, please return the item. I would rather you return the item at this point. And chances are, because they didn't ask you for a return, they're not going to open a return. They're just going to go away. In most cases, some buyers are difficult. 9
times out of 10, the item isn't worth them taking the time. Time is precious nowadays, and nobody will make the time to send in a return. So they'd rather just, I'm bad at returns. Like if something doesn't fit that I bought at a store, I'll set it aside and I'll forget about it. But, I just think people they're too lazy.
And I notice most scammers aren't really going to say a whole lot. Like, for instance, I had one, they opened a return, didn't like it. And of course I get it back. It's a accessory for a, what is it? A Quest VR system, the Quest 2. Maybe I don't have the right system. Yeah. And they returned like the broken, one side was broken, and they kept the rest of the pieces. And that person never even responded to anything that I've said. A lot of times when there's a return, I'll reach out to try to see if there's anything I can do to, help them with whatever, or at least reach out and let them know that returns, if they are opening a return, please send back everything so we can give them a full refund. This guy sent back just what he wanted, and he didn't get a full refund. Top the Flip says, we'll take returns. Buyer pays returns for some items. All other, no returns, but will allow returns if buyer contacts us, but has only happened once this past year. But my honest question to you, and I'm not trying to dog anyone here. I'm just trying to understand, because to me it just doesn't make sense. On the items you offer no returns on, is there a reason why you're not offering return?
What is it that drives you to have a no return policy? What is it? We just want to understand.
Yeah, I mean, we're having a respectful conversation. Yeah. Maybe you can persuade me to maybe change my mind, or hopefully I can change your mind, because in the long run, I think eBay is going to prop up the listings that support what they want. Okay, because again, this isn't your business. It is your business, but when you're selling on eBay, you're playing by their rules, and they're going to prop up the listings that more in line with what they want and the customer experience that they want. And if you can maybe change your policies on some items, you might find that you're going to get more sales. And a lot of people talk about, oh, my sales are down, but honestly, all you have to do is tweak some things, and you'll find, like your return policy, you'll find that you're going to get some better sales. Mad City Resell, I never refund until I receive an item back. Fair enough. Okay. Let's see. Top the Flip says, had a buyer state $200 item was broken. It was not paid to get it back. Then buyer wanted to buy it only for 140. Then we blocked the buyer. Yeah, that's a scam.
That's a scammer. That's a clear scammer.
So here's the good news. You got it back. It wasn't broken, right? So deduct, and this is kind of a controversial thing, but watch Crazy New York Drivers channel. That guy's getting away with deducting the cost of the outbound label, or actually the cost of the return label. Just deduct the return label, and document why you deducted it and move on. Even though you're really supposed to go begging eBay for a $6 return label credit, I'm starting to think that that's probably the course of action to start taking. Picky Ricky says, I have a 30-day returns and I have to pay, so I keep eBay happy. I agree with that. Unless it's a larger item, and now you're dealing with spending $20, $30 on that return label. Even then, buyers are going to get around it if they want to. But if they come back, just like Top the Flip was saying, if it comes back in perfectly fine condition and they were just trying to use that reason to get the free return label, well, that's going to come out of their return. I mean, their cost of that refund. So, you have some power to decide what you want to do. It's your business. That's the good thing. But just know 100% of it's still a lot of it's going to go through eBay, and eBay is going to have the final say. GT says, I hope you get a return and scammed ASAP is what I tell people I know starting to sell seriously, and get over with the face your fears, people issues. It works. Well, I don't know if I want anyone to get scammed, but I would rather someone watch a video like this and maybe have a set of expectations. Maybe they're not going into it thinking that everything's perfect when it's not. There is a chance you can get scammed really anywhere. You can get scammed. You get scammed. You can go and sell on Marketplace, have someone come to your house and give you a phony $20 bill. You can get scammed at any point in life, and just know that eBay is, I think a lot of us know that, is not free of scams, and you just can't sell your items fearing that every time you sell something of value, someone's out to scam you. No One Design 2 says, I love returns because 8 out of 10 times they don't even send the item back, so it's a win. Positivity is way better than the fear and negative energy. There could be theft and damage in a brick and mortar as well. Offer free returns and it has been fine. Yes.
Right.
Ed says, I know that migraine feeling usually happens when listing. Yeah, I just get it every once in a while. So
he gets it more often than he'll admit, but it
used to be very, very difficult to deal with. Even it goes back to when I was working at the office for the other company, and I would get it and it would just be debilitating. I couldn't even, it was bad,
I had to drive him home. I had another supervisor come and get me and tell me that they were going to give me the rest of the day off to take him home.
Yeah, because I was out behind the building, like throwing up and stuff, and it was just bad, because I couldn't make it back inside. Tommy Bernard says, fun fact, you lose 3 IQ points every time you open a Facebook reseller group. Yeah, but I agree. But sometimes one of the toughest things when I'm doing this live, I like to have something to start with. And one of the toughest things is to have some kind of content that A, I don't want to make a video on, and 2, B, it's something to at least get us started. So that's kind of why. And we're getting into the holiday season, and you're up against companies like Amazon that will give you till like the end of January. So you're already up against those companies and that competition to sell similar items. And you just got to know what you're up against. And I just want to know why you have a no returns policy. It just kills me.
Don't make me a moderator. You will have an empty chat.
Yeah, you're not allowed to get rid of people if they disagree with you. Let's see here.
What is Brian talking about?
Wait, you mean to tell me you guys don't watch porn while watching FAE? That's not us, because we're talking while we're can't. It may seem like I'm in outer space. Okay, yeah. GT says, well, Jenna, you say always have multiple windows open. Yeah, that's Well, if there's like a long silence, that could be right.
Yeah.
Tommy says, I hate they get deleted so fast. I'm trying to write down the link. Wow.
No, they want you to click on the link.
Let's see. Devon Short, John, longtime sub. Thanks, Devon. Appreciate you watching the channel.
Oh, I remember her name from a long time ago.
Okay.
Hello.
So thanks for watching. You guys, again, I always think this, and it's the truth. If it wasn't for you guys taking the time, you could be trick-or-treating, getting some free candy bars right now. But instead, you're watching this video. I don't care how old you are. There's still people that'll go trick-or-treating.
You're going to go bowling tonight, and I'm going to go trick-or-treating just as an
you should
eBay seller.
There you go. Ping G says, go to your seller dashboard and see what criteria you don't meet for top rated. Off the top of my head, 95% tracking, upload, and confirmed. No more than 5% returns. Yes, that is correct. Now, one thing about the 95% tracking upload is they will give you, if you're already top rated and you screw up, right, that 30 days and you have just a bad, like a 90%, like maybe 90% on your tracking upload, they will give you another month to get your act together. So they'll keep you, they'll say, if we were to grade you today, you'd be above standard. But then when that day hits, they'll say, okay, we've decided to give you an extra 30-day grace.
Didn't something like that
on our other smaller one, our other account, because we had such a small level of sales on that account. When this genius who picks up our packages screwed us up a couple times, it really threw that off because the low number of, and I was really making a point to, like, I even had some stuff going on sale for like 40-50% off to up my sales so I can bring that number up. And I got it to 94.5 something. And then I'm like, oh, great, this screwed up my account. And then I got a message saying that we're going to give you, a month grace. So yeah, it happens. But I think eBay isn't this evil monster that wants to see us all fail. And, I sometimes do portray it that way, but that's not the truth. Look, they want us to succeed because if we succeed, they make more money. That's the bottom line. And I'm not just saying that because I want to kiss eBay's butt, because more often than not, I'm critiquing eBay than giving them kudos. Let's see here. T-Town Trekker, OCO from Indian Territory. I don't know Indian Territory. Where's that at?
India?
No, it's probably I don't know. Maybe. But no, India? I don't know. Well, let us know where you're at.
I don't know. T-Town. Where's T-Town?
Devon Short says eBay still only lets you do 30-day returns, not 14. 14 was like 2-3 years ago. I remember when they changed it, people were up in arms. But it needs to be more 14. I mean, I started doing this like when you're filling your item specifics, when they ask you manufacturer's warranty, I start putting 1 month because that's my return policy. Ultimately, they're going to use the hell out of it anyway. And on the 30th day, if they don't like it or they busted it all to hell or whatever, they're going to open a return anyway. And you can complain to eBay that they caused the damage and they did this, that, and the other thing. But ultimately, not only is it a 30-day return policy, it's really a 30-day warranty period that you're, might as well just put it in there. Let's see. Ed enjoys going to the post office. All those miles add up in a year. Yeah, but that's time that you could be doing other things, though, too. Even me, I'm like 2 miles away. It's a 30-minute round trip.
But Eagles you can earn like points and miles on this app that I have when I do driving. I don't know if that's what he's referring to.
I don't know. Is shipping higher chance to sell the collection only? I'm not sure I understand. Might have to rephrase that one.
Shipping higher chance to sell the collection.
Rephrase that one.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll skip. Ping G, some categories allow 14-day returns. Well, I need to know what categories those are. I thought it all went away. Miriam S says, I had 2 returns last month. One did not send it back. eBay closed the return. I kept the money. Yeah, it's done and over with, and you don't have to worry about it. Brian Switzer says, I'm still pretty new, but tell me if this is right. You're going to have to accept returns anyway, so you might as well get credit from the algorithms. Right.
Exactly.
Right. So why not get a higher boost in search. And look, some people are going to see no returns and they don't know any better and they're not going to bother trying to pursue it. I get it. That happens. But okay, so you avoid those people. The scammers or the people with bad intentions or the people that know how to get around eBay are still going to get you to pay for that return label. And you're going to still have fewer sales because you have a no return policy. So why not just at least have a return buyer pays policy and get a little bit of a boost in search?
Yeah, because you have an audience. There are certain eBay audience members, whatever, that have certain criteria when they're looking on eBay. So for instance, let's say I am going to be I'm shopping on eBay for Christmas and I'm buying for Christmas gifts or birthday gifts or whatever the case. And I see no returns. I'm going to keep scrolling.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford to make that purchase and then not be able to return it if, let's say, my granddaughter or whatever breaks it, or it broke on the way to during shipping, whatever the case is. There are certain criteria that people look for, and if no returns is a big one.
So yeah, I just think that the benefits outweigh, anyone's fears. And I think a lot of times we're motivated by fear instead of just looking at the bigger picture and how it affects our business. I mean, if you get scammed twice in a year and you lose $100 and you sell, let's say you sell $40,000 in merch. I'm just throwing that number out, and I'm sure a lot of you may not even hit that number, but let's just say it's maybe 1% of what you make that year. If you look at it long picture, big picture, it's not that bad as when it happens in the moment.
Cost of doing business.
I know a lot of people hate that, but we have Barbara Teresa Rhiannon's Realm is in the house. Jenna is very pretty. Aww. I just sold the 40-piece Christmas Village set, so now 40 pieces to wrap. Not going to post office today in the rain. Migraine here also. Wow.
Thank you, Barbara.
Yeah, just make sure there's no rattling going on in that box. That's for sure. That's the worst thing.
Lots of bubble wrap and padding.
Edward says, is there a way to retrieve a listing that eBay has decided to end? If they ended your listing, it will not be there. That's the thing that makes me crazy, because when they were on their 1 month spree of 10 listings they removed out of my store, it's like, okay, so now I can't see the listing. I don't know the SKU number. Where the hell is this item? So we'd go in there and start searching for this thing. And I'd have an idea sometimes, but a lot of you guys have thousands of items in your store. Can you imagine they ended your item? Now it's like, I don't remember when. I don't even remember this item, let alone where I put it. So yeah, that's kind of a pain. So no real now you could call eBay and say, hey, can you pull up the listing? Because they can, and tell me the SKU number. They might be able to tell you that. I know that they have the ability to reactivate it in your ended. They've done that for me before, but I would only do if it was a pretty expensive item. Hit the like, guys. Let Miss FAE her own gaming chair and mic. Can you guys not hear her very well?
Can you not hear me?
Okay, I'm sure they can. Whoops. This thing's about to fall apart.
I may have to sit on his lap.
Uh-oh. We might need those links after all.
Stop.
Do you have a place where I can email you? Dealing with something too much to type here. Love your opinion. Yes. Flippin' ain't easy 2020 at gmail.com. I'll put it, no, glippin'. I'll put it in the chat. That way you can send me an email. I'll be glad to talk to you about it. Picky Ricky says,
I think someone said, remember when we asked where Canberra is? It's in Australia.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
okay.
I think he said capital 2. I don't know what that means, but
Gail N says, I have 30-day return policy. I had a buyer open a return but canceled. Said she decided to give the purse to sister. Maybe she didn't want to go to the post office. That is the absolute best thing, is when they open a return and cancel, because that they can't open a return again. So that's awesome. Let's see. Devon says, I hate when a customer's open returns without communication to the sellers. I mean, to me, I don't like when
Go back up to Ping
when
G.
the
She answered your question.
well, when the buyer says something, they say nothing when they're, let's say they're opening a return or anything they want to cancel, like a sale. The fact that they don't like reach out and say, hey, look, I'm sorry, I bought this by accident, please cancel, or hey, this item you sent me, there's something wrong with it, or to me, it's the first thing a scammer would do is not message you. They try to get under the radar by opening return and never respond to your messages. So it is what it is. Try to reach out, see if they'll answer you. Maybe you can talk them through. Sometimes I've had in the past with electronics that someone doesn't know how to use an item, so they just get frustrated and they open a return, when I could have told them, hey, ask them what's wrong, and told them, hey, this is how you turn the thing on, or this is what you do, that kind of thing, to avoid a return. Where at, honey?
Ping right above.
Okay. When you meet the criteria for top-rated seller, it automatically happens.
The 14-day return policy.
I'd like to know what category, though. If you know, I don't know if that was answered yet. Droosh, and it looks like a Y, but I'm not sure that's what that is.
That's a happy face.
Is it a happy face? Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry. Sup, man? I was that kid that met you at the Goodwill bins. Oh, okay. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. That's kind of cool. Went to the Goodwill bins a couple times over the last week or so, and picked up some pretty good stuff. So, watching a lot of people in action at the Goodwill bins, and
definitely
it's a different animal. She probably won't go there again. I'll go there because there's some things that I learned by, some of the booksellers that will send their stuff into Amazon FBA. And there's some pretty interesting things you can pick up there, and the price is right. So watching a bunch of kids,
I'll go for clothes.
Watching a bunch of, I say kids, they're in their 20s, and they were outside. They had like 4 or 5 IKEA bags full of clothes, and then one was holding up a Carhartt pair of pants, and it's like, wow, at $1.69 a pound, they're pulling all these name brands out. And yeah, I could see myself. I don't sell clothes, but honestly, I picked up like a Carhartt
say I don't sell clothes because
I don't look for clothes, but that's not my thing. But if I come across Carhartt and it's $5 at a yard sale, it's like, okay.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So, you could find some gems. And I was telling Archie this. I said, look, we're at the bins. I said, look, where do you see? I don't see a whole lot of home runs coming out of the hard goods, right? Maybe some books, but I'm seeing a lot of people pull out home runs with clothing.
I wouldn't know what to look at for books.
And, I was watching Daily Refinement, and some people do or don't. I watch everyone, but he was saying he sources almost exclusively from the Goodwill bins.
Who? Daily Refinement?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what he said in his last one today. Kent Hamilton says, John, you can't have returns on sports cards, boxes, and case like I mostly sell. Sports cards are a commodity like gold, silver, oil. Cards go up and down sometimes by the minute. So if you sell that sports card, and let's say it's $100 and they receive it, and let's say the guy gets suspended 80 games. Let's say it's a Fernando Tatis, right? He got suspended, something like that. And it drops in value, and they say, well, you sent me a card with a crease in it. You're going to have to take that return. I know that's an extreme example, but if you find that your sales are slower than your competition, check their return policy. It could be that they have their returns on and you don't. For the most part, people want a certain item. If you deliver upon that item in the condition that they expect, they're not going to open a return because the price guide said it went down $10. At least that's my opinion. I'm sure you've dealt with many other situations, but it just doesn't seem like most people. If you sell 100 items, you might deal with 2 or 3 people that do that to you. The other 97 people are going to be happy with their purchase. Gail says, no return policy if I fear a bait and switch, like a luxury bag like Louis Vuitton. So, like, I sold some Pradas. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I put them on auction in that batch of shoes that I got. some Prada sandals, and they're in used condition, but they're pretty good.
They're in really good condition.
I couldn't find any comps for it. And of course, a lot of people ask me, make sure it's authentic. You do your homework, you find out before you list the item, what makes these authentic. And in this particular case, a lot of times the fake Pradas won't have the triangle where it says Milan on the bottom of the sole. And I checked and made sure that this kind of fit and I got a lot of good shoes, a lot of good quality brands from this batch. If I received a bunch of Pro Wings and a Prada pair of shoes, I would be like, wait, something's not right here. How did this happen?
Do they even make Pro Wings anymore?
Well, they're vintage now. I'm sure they have some value. So that is kind of what
Drew saw right there.
Okay.
He said he was the kid going for
yeah. I saw you're going for the video games. I actually picked up a couple games, and you can just find all kinds of stuff at the bottom of those bins. But curious, what is the best game value-wise you found? I'm curious what you found in the bins there. No one designs this. The common thought is if a seller sells a high-price item, they don't want to accept returns. Yeah. You don't want it back. Look, you don't want it back.
You don't want it, but you don't have a choice.
Well, you don't want it back. But okay, so I have this high-priced item. I'm going to put on an auction. How many bids are you losing because someone saw you have a no return policy? Yeah. Or how long is it taking you to sell that?
What are the chances of your item getting returned? I mean,
well, 2 to 5%.
Right, but I don't believe that a lot of people who are bidding, well, I guess no, I can't really say that. I don't know.
If you get scammed, look, I've talked about this before. If you get scammed, okay, so you sell that Louis Vuitton purse and they send you back Faded Glory. Do they make purses?
Yes.
Okay, so they send you back something funky like that. It's an IC3.gov situation. You go and file your report. You contact eBay. And I've spoken to 3 USA reps that told me it's an unwritten policy they have. If you provide them with that report, they are going to cover you. And so I would just work with that, right? Before you do any kind of refund tool, adjusting 50%. Worst case scenario is, okay, fine. I take a hit. I get 50% back from what, I don't like it. I have this Faded Glory purse now. I got 50% refund. And you look at it as a loss. It's no different than someone shoplifting if you owned a store.
Exactly.
Ping G says it doesn't make sense that the eBay UK site requires you to be a business account in order to be a top rated, but some sites do have different rules and policies. I didn't know that about UK. Shirley M says I have no return policy because I ship a lot of plates and cups, which I know buyers will not be able to pack them properly. Okay. Now the thing is, they want to offer, okay, they open a return. So you get they get the plates you sent them. So they open a return. They make no mention in the return that the plates are broken. They just didn't like it, or they different color, or whatever reasons they might provide you. So now they send it back to you and it breaks. Well, you didn't get the item back in the same condition, and you can use the tool. I know it sucks, but deducting 50% from the refund, not returning their original shipping. I mean, yeah, and one thing you might want to do with that too is if someone opens a return, say, look, in order for me to be able to give you a full refund, you're going to have to make sure these are packed the same way that I sent them to you, and to make them aware, because people aren't going to go through that trouble if they know they may not get a full refund. So, that's kind of how I deal with it.
There's been times where we've had to put that in a message where somebody will put, they request a return, and then we know that it's not going to come back in the same way we had shipped it out to them, and we'll send them a message saying, look, we're going to deduct a percentage out of your refund if it doesn't come back in the same packaging with the same protection, if it's broken, just as a warning. And then maybe they won't send it back.
I think the biggest fail that both buyers and sellers have, and this is more than just an eBay problem. This is a life problem that people don't communicate as well as they should. Now, if your buyer fails to communicate and they open a return, there's nothing wrong with communicating, here's my expectations. I'm happy to take the return, even though you're really not, but I'm happy to take the return. However, in order for me to be able to give you a full refund on this, you need to do the following, because if they come back in a different condition or with not the same retail packaging or the tags or whatever, I am allowed to deduct for that. So to avoid that, please make sure you're packaging it in the same way that we send it out to you, that type of thing. So Top the Flip says, replying to your question, no returns for heavier items that cannot cost over $18. So I guess my question is, why not have it as buyer pays return? Now, again, if they circumvent your return policy to avoid paying that return label, and now you're on the hook for that $18, you get it back, and it is in a condition where the buyer should have paid for the return label, deduct that from the refund. Simple. And you get the same result, and you get the boost in the algorithm for your listing. Kent says a card would be worth 1,000 one day, and if that player gets hurt, would be worth 100 the next. So there's no way to accept returns on sports cards. I get it. I would say this, because I don't sell sports cards online. I would look at your competition, and if your competition's making a lot of sales, you're looking to boost your competition, follow what they do. I mean, if that's kind of the norm for that niche, then continue doing what you're doing. Tommy says, if you're scared of returns, just forget it and get a job at Chick-fil-A. Yeah, you get deals on food too at Chick-fil-A, right? If you work there.
I don't know. I've never worked fast food.
Okay. Antoine Qua says, buyers that know eBay and all the ins and outs know how to circumvent the system. Regular folks may screw up orders or something they didn't want, or buyer's remorse, and if they see no returns, they won't bother. Less headaches. Yeah. Well, they'll see that, but people who know the system know that there's no such thing as a no returns policy. And they'll say, okay, because now I could probably get this cheaper, because this, auction should have ended at $100. I can get it for 50. And let's say you have it for parts or repair. They can't get it to work. And then they'll just use a false reason to return your item, no matter what you have. But just know, okay, fine, return the item. And if it turns out that everything was exactly as you described in the listing, just deduct it from the refund and let them deal with eBay. Let me put it that way. Nature Made in Utah. I have no return policy because my stuff is cheap in the first place. Movies, music, CDs, video games. I have a full refund. Plus, I just tell them to keep the item, or I give a full refund. But you have a no return policy. So to me, okay, if you have a no return policy, even on smaller things, it may even be best to have a return seller pays, because think about it, you're up against other people who are selling the same item with better return policies, and chances are they're going to be higher in search. The chances are they're selling more items than you. So if you're selling at 50% of what you probably could be selling if you had a different policy, right? But you're afraid of the 5% returns that you would be getting if you had, and that's just a high number too. It's actually should be lower than that. If you're afraid of the 5% and you're willing to sacrifice 50%, you're losing in the long run. So you want to look at the whole picture, the entire picture. I just think that your more successful sellers out there are not worried about that, and they're gonna do what they can to get as much of a boost in search. And we're talking not lowest price search, but just what defaults as best match search. Kevin Boblet says, I just made 100 sales on eBay. How soon until I'm able to be top rated? What do I need to do to become top rated plus seller? Well, to be top rated, I think you have to have like $1,000 in sales. You have to have so many transactions over a course of time. Usually it's about 60 to 90 days before eBay sees that consistency before they make you top rated. And then in order to be top rated plus, you need to offer free returns on your items. Now, you could be what I kind of call partially top rated plus. And that is, let's say some of my items are light, so I offer free returns on those. Some of my items are heavy. And so on those items that I offer free returns, I'm getting that 10% discount on my fees. Nick M says, I hope no one gets a return until they're successful, because it really puts me off for about a year when UPS damaged one of my big sales. It sucks. It sucks. It really sucks when you have an item that you think is good and they open a return and it's like a $200 plus hit, right? Mm-hmm. And it really just is demoralizing. And you're like, sometimes, especially if you're not selling a lot anyway, you're like, oh, what do I even do this for? You know, right. And you feel that way, but you gotta look at the bigger picture. You know, if you're selling one item here, one item there, it's worse than if you're selling, 10 items, 15 items a day. It's easier to swallow when okay, $200 is no big deal if I made 500 today, right? You're just going to write it off, and just the big picture is what you got to look at. Mm-hmm. And you can't allow, I paid $300 and something in extra fees to FedEx. I never got that back. But guess what? Any loss you take can be written off against the taxes that you're going to be paying. Now, I'm not a CPA, but any CPA will tell you this, that any cost of business that includes a loss is something that is no different than you going out and buying materials for the job. It's all caught up in your fees. That's a cost. I have this cost of goods. I didn't get it back. I lost it, and I can write it off, that type of thing. Hi, flipping ain't easy. I'm that kid. Okay, I saw that. Okay, I'm way down here. I need to get back here. Sorry about that. Devon Short, so the Las Vegas bin's good. It really depends. It really doesn't look good. You might find a couple things here and there. I found a bunch of items I think I spent $20 for. Games, board games are like 25 cents. Puzzles are like 25 cents. And then everything else is based on $1.69 a pound. So, just depends. For me, it's just a good way to supplement. It's kind of fun, actually. So I kind of enjoy the chaos.
It's definitely challenging.
Yeah. Let's see if I can. Devon says, my sales have been crazy busy. That's a good thing. Mm-hmm.
Andy in the house.
Ricky says, I gave up joining Amazon today. They asked for a bill. I sent them one in 60 days old. They said it was older than 90 days. Yeah, I just sent in 9 boxes of FBA. Get it out of here, put it on FBA, and see what happens with that. A lot of the new case pack toys, it was just taking up too much space, and I wasn't going to make that much more.
Yeah, because we don't have any more space.
Well, I mean, as you can see, I still have tennis shoes behind me. All the stuff that you guys saw in my post, I have tubs full of shoes, and I've got these here still. I've got a lot. So happy with it. I'm not complaining. I want more. Going to look into
need to do a big sale.
No. It's going to be fun.
Of the things that have been sitting in the store for a long period of time.
Yeah.
That's what I keep encouraging him to do, because there's stuff that we've had for over a year, maybe even 2 years, only God knows. And it's just sitting there, and for whatever reason, not selling. Mm-hmm. So I say we just knock it down and get it out.
So Kevin asks, is free returns worth it? I sell shoes and have had a few returns, all because they do not fit. So, yes, I think it's worth it, because if you're operating under a 2% return, so I sell 100 pairs of shoes and I have to come up with 2 return labels for every 100 I sell. So let's say I'm making $20 a pair, right? And I sell 100 pairs. So I've made now $2,000. Now this is before fees and all that. Just forget the fees, $2,000. And I have had 2 returns where the label cost me on average $10. So I've lost 20. So instead of making 2,000, I've spent 1,980. But because I offered free returns, I was able to make that 2,000 rather than 2,000 without the free returns. I was probably making 1,500 in the number. I was going to make 75 sales instead of 100. So would you rather have no returns and 1,500 in your pocket, or would you rather have free returns with 2 returns where you pay for 2 labels and you made 1,980? The math is, to me, obvious, and I don't mind the returns. If now we're not talking $20 or $30 labels. Shoes are not that heavy unless we're talking combat boots, right? that kind of thing.
Him in combat boots. He calls every boot a combat boot.
That's right.
I'm like, those are not, they're sparkly. They're not meant for combat.
Yeah. Well, it'll take a war to get rid of those shoes. I have no return policy because it seems like one thing to do a long time ago. If someone wants a return, I'll just refund because I don't have enough meat on the bone to take it back and then resell.
There's been items where it's just a cheap something and they want to return it. And we're like, we'll just give you a refund. Like, don't even bother wasting your time.
But it has to be compelling. If they come to me, just open a return, I'm probably just going to call their bluff and accept the return. If they come back and say they have a bunch of photos saying, yeah, this is not right or whatever, I'll own up. And if they can provide me where a proof or point to where I screwed up, I'll give them a refund without them sending it back if it's a cheap enough item. Top to Flip, myself and my wife think you're the two best eBay channels. You two are the best eBay channels. See, that's why I said to come back. See, without you here, I'm the worst eBay channel.
No. Thank you.
Andy says, hey, John and Jenna, I have a question for you. I'm planning on going out of town for a couple days. Is there a bulk edit for changing handling time, or do you have to go through each policy separately? Now, I had this discussion with Archie, and I believe you can go. I had to go into each of my policies. Now, if you have separate policies set up, you just go into your policies, edit the policy, and change it to 1 day. But he seemed to tell me that there is a way to do it, and it's only because I haven't done it that way.
Well, so when we go on vacation or whatever, you always change your listings to like whatever he'll do it. So we don't use vacation mode because that'll hurt your store. So he'll change the shipping to like 3 days and then he'll drop it as the day gets closer that we're going to be home. He'll drop it to 2 days or whatever the case is.
Yeah. So I'm here like on the bulk edit tool, and I go to, it's under your shipping policy. Right, yeah, I know, shipping policy, but I'm looking to see if there's anything that allows you, because see, what happens is you go to shipping policy and then you say change it to, but I don't want to change all my policies. If I change everything, I have some policies that are free shipping. I have some policies that are calculated, some policies at $4.99, $6.99, $9.99 for shipping. And so I have to go into my policies and change each one and do an edit. And then by editing your policy, it'll edit for all the listings that you have for that policy. Like, for instance, Archie, he doesn't have business policies. So he has his set up differently. So he can do his differently.
Throwing his business all over
I know.
The place.
He deserves it.
He's not here.
He's not here. That's why he deserves it. So he's not here.
What kind of moderator would you be if you're not here?
I know, some friend, huh? So let's see. Tommy says, Kevin, I do buyer paid returns on shoes. Have a 300% sell-through rate. Facts. Women do not know what size they wear. Do you know what size you wear?
I do.
Okay.
But I can agree that most women do not.
Kevin says, can I have a buyer paid returns and be top rated seller? Yeah, but you can't be top rated plus for that listing.
I think that's where it gets confusing, is it's per listing. So on another listing, let's say it's free returns or it's whatever. It's different for each one. To
get the funky little badge that nobody cares about, I think you have to have 100% free returns, but I don't care about that anyway. No. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'll give you a badge.
Okay. D. Rizzo says jewelry and watches allow 14 days. Okay, that's good to know. I do have some. We have that Brighton stuff that we picked up.
Yeah.
So let's see if they open a return. There's a couple that we've sold. So. Oops. Okay. Boxer puppy dog, Daisy May.
All over the
Anyone else who does not allow P.O. boxes having problems with buyers being able to still order to P.O. boxes? I've had to cancel 2 orders this week. I only ship through UPS. Now, make sure your individual policies. Now, if you have a policy set up, I know like Archie doesn't use policies. There's a number that just don't use the policies, but make sure that the very bottom of that policy, you have the PO box checked as an excluded address if you're doing like UPS ground, because UPS ground won't deliver to a PO box.
And don't in the buyer requirements or what have you, don't you can choose to not have the PO boxes to be, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. All right, Kent. I'm trick-or-treating tonight as Paul Pelosi. I'm going in my underwear with my male friend while we chase each other with hammers, but don't like. Oh, wow.
Kent.
All right, I ain't saying anything about that. Because we might get some of those links that get popped in here if I start talking about that.
If you roll down,
I meant it's shipping higher chance to sell items than to sell collection only items.
I meant is
shipping
higher chance to sell items than to sell collection only items.
Well, look, okay, shipping, like, I don't even think I'm even answering your question, but I'm gonna do the best that I can. Like, if you have like stuff that qualifies for media mail, you can like bulk pack it as media mail if it's media mail. But anything that, whether it's collection or not, it's not going to qualify for any kind of discounts.
Okay, maybe it's if you sell multiple items at one time. I don't think a collection is the word they're looking for. Is it multiple items that you mean?
Well, we have time
to sell items, to sell single items rather than multiple items.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Biscuit Butt.
King G says, if you have a local pickup collection, you limit the number of people who will purchase from you. However, if the item is too heavy or large, the seller probably does not want to ship it. So that might answer your question. Let's see. Tommy says, no, it's I mainly sell shoes. Depending on what you sell, returns can far outweigh the 10% final value fee credit. Let's see what here we have.
Yeah, you need to scroll.
I know. Let's see.
I get on him about this.
Edward says, I try my very best never to call eBay. We need to be the last straw.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on how they type the address, the PO box can get around the address block. Yeah, I had someone put box, like 123 instead of PO box, and then wondered, well, why didn't he get the package? Because it's too large for your PO box, and went by UPS, and wanted me to fix the problem and call them. I'm like, no, you're going to have to deal with that. Let's see if I have any questions here.
Ed said you're out of focus just slightly. Are we out of focus?
It's our masks.
I know that was like 15, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I don't know this camera. Okay. Sorry guys I'm not looking at any porn, I promise.
He answered this game called Ghost in the Shell and Legend of Zelda.
So I asked, what was your best find at the bins? And Drush says this game is called Ghost in the Shell, Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. Also, sorry if I replied. So how much was it? I'm curious. Huh?
You said replied. It's repeated.
No, repeated. Yeah, that's okay. Citizen says, I never buy from anyone with a no return policy. I mean, it just comes off.
That's what I was talking about.
Let's see, trying to get past the sidebar comments.
Bling factors here.
Okay, let's see. Sawtooth Outpost. I had a buyer open a return on an iPad without charging cable. Clearly listed as such. Said it doesn't turn on. Says she doesn't have a charger. Free return shipping does not work, but it's his fault. So deduct it. If you have buyer pays return and they're returning it for a reason that the buyer should be paying for the return label, and they're just trying to get around it, claiming it was your fault when the listing says otherwise, then deduct it from their return for the refund. See, a buyer cannot ask a seller to deliver on something that was never part of the deal. If you sell an iPad and they get mad because it didn't have a case with it, well, they have no grounds to stand on because it was never offered in the sale. Let's let's see. Trying to, one of my many returns this month. And then I like getting video games from the bins, but it just sucks when a disc is broken, can't even repair it. Found this 100% video games at the bins, looked at the back, huge cracks. So yeah, always check, like when you're in line, to pay, or between, when they reload the bins, get over there and start checking your stuff. I'm sure you know that though. Peter Harmer says, listed 40 items, first time since 2020. 23 sold in a week, 22 positive feedback, 1 return open, the old item not described clack. Funny, all my listings now dropped to the floor, some with 0 views. Yeah, I don't think eBay is going to penalize you for having a return, but if you allow that return to expire, it can hurt your account.
Yeah.
You get a defect.
Reach out to the buyer.
Eagles Could Fly. Is it better to list 10 items per day or 1 item per day? 10 items per day, I think. It shows eBay that you are able to handle more than 1 item. So your workload, it just shows them what volume of listings that you're capable of handling. Like it's not just enough to list an item. You have to follow up with customer service. You have to package the item when it sells. And I don't care if you have a ton of good stuff. eBay is not going to overwhelm you with views if they know you can't handle the action. Let's see what I can get down here. Start catching up with you guys. You guys are awesome with your comments, though. Let's see. Chris McCullough, UPS just admitted to delivering to wrong address, and I'm on the hook for the shipping if and when I get my item back. Well, that's horrible.
Wow.
I had to refund the customer. So you file a claim. File a claim through UPS because they screwed up. And hopefully the person that told you that they screwed up at UPS can notate the account. It might be, too little too late, this information, but that's kind of what I would make sure that they do, so that when you file that claim, you can make reference that they notated it in the account. Savage Picker says, don't forget you are out at your cost. I know it sucks to lose a sale, but as sellers, most times our cost of goods are low. Yeah, I'm into those shoes for like $2 a piece. And I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's great when you can find some deals on stuff. Peter says, in the UK, if you're a business, you can claim footwear, food, daily, phone, internet, car, van, 60% utilities with a 20% offset. Picky Ricky says, I plan on giving out offers and doing sales come January for now. See what happens over the next 7-8 weeks. Yeah. Just get your stuff listed. I'm hopeful that the items will start selling a little bit better than they have been. I sold a guy a $1,000 motorcycle frame. It breaks eBay policy to send a title with the frame. He complained about no title. When he complained, it was bent, but could not provide any proof or photos. So he complains, tell him to send it back and open a return, that type of thing. Ant White, all the pics in my eBay gallery are blurry. They're fine in my phone's gallery and fine after listing the items is really weird. No update needed either. Oh, man, you have no idea. I have the worst problem. That's her phone, though, I think. My phone is, I have a 12 Pro, okay? An iPhone 12 Pro. And the camera, he's like, why are these so washed out? Yeah. And I'm like, it looked clear when I was taking it. It looked fine. And then, I have the worst problems with my camera. I'm sure there's a setting that you can change. Of course. Have tried. I have gone into settings quite a few times. I think Archie moderated himself so that is why we can't see him. Tom says, John must be on top chat. I feel like he is all over the place in the chat. Sorry. I'm trying to figure it out. It's how he is in life. All Tommy over the place. Mainly current trendy running shoes. So it seems women like to try new shoes without researching them. Results equals returns. Yeah, but the thing is, if you're getting sales, you're going to get returns. Oh, look at this. I got to catch up here. Thanks, Ed. Hit the like button, everyone. John does these lives every Monday and Friday. Is always loaded with amazing information. Thanks, Ed. But without you guys, I can't I'm just talking to myself, which I kind of do sometimes, and I'm
He does
frustrated.
that a lot more than he thinks.
You're wrong.
No.
Stock Vader, Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million. Well, let's see about that. I had a chance to buy it when it was like $1 back in 2011. Of course, I failed to do that. I wouldn't be on this live stream if I bought it for $1.
Hold on, I want to see what she said. Hey Jenna, just about to go for a walk Tuesday. Oh, okay.
Okay, well, be safe out there.
Yeah, be careful.
There's a lot of creeps outside looking for candy.
Wet and cold. Ooh.
Women's clothing has always had much higher returns. Out of all the men's jeans, only ever had 1 return.
Yeah, awesome. Men don't care.
So here's the thing. Ed, will you be attending the holiday check-in? I would, but eBay won't invite me. So
holiday check-in?
I guess they have a holiday check-in. I'm looking at my messages from eBay. I don't see anything about it. Let's see from eBay. I'm just thankful that, okay, here it is. I did get one. So they like me after all. Yeah, I might check in Wednesday the 16th. So yeah.
Check in and check out.
Mindy says, hey, Jenna, great to see you.
Hi, Mindy.
And we have Janet Hayter. I really enjoyed the chat today. They have all been good, but today was really good. Well, awesome, Janet. Thank you. See, I told you. She didn't want to come on the show. And she's like, they don't want to.
I didn't want to. It was because I was doing other things, housely duties.
So yeah, it's putting up the Christmas tree in that. Had a buyer with 2 feedback.
And laundry.
Yeah, I know. Had a buyer with 2 feedback hound me asking if I shipped yet. And after it was shipped, they messaged me asking questions about the item. I told them whatever was in the picture you'll receive. Yeah, it just drives me crazy. Like they just bad communication on the buyer's part. I've had that happen. It's kind of maddening, but it is what it is. Picky Ricky, I use iPhone 6 for my phone photos still. My new Galaxy is rubbish for photos. iPhone 6 miles better than camera, but it's even better. I'm getting my iPhone 14 Pro. They're on back order. I'll get mine here in the middle of the month. So when that happens, she's going to get my 12 Max, which is a larger screen. We just got the battery upgraded in this thing after 2 years or replaced to one that's going to hold a charge. So hopefully I can utilize some of the features on the new iPhone 14, like the cinematic and stuff like that. So, I mean, for the videos and things like that. So
shoot on video mode. It helps bring out colors and make it look more crisp.
Vivid mode, not video. Vivid.
Oh, vivid. Yeah. Sorry.
Noah Design. Hey, John and Jenna, watch Thrift to Life YouTube channel if you want a starting point about clothes and books. His book channel is Book Pill. Yeah, there's a guy named Adam at the bins. Really helpful guy. Was very helpful in telling me what kind of books to avoid and what kind of books to pick up. I'm not a really big book person,
but you know what? They'd probably be so easy to list and sell.
Oh yeah,
or to ship.
Yeah, I'm into selling anything that's somewhat easy to list and that'll sell. That's my thing.
Tap and hold the camera to lock. And yeah, I've done that where you tap and hold the camera lock, the AF or AEAF thing. Yeah, I've done it. I've done all of that. And it either comes out super yellow or it's super blurry.
Yeah, I don't like
or washed out. And it's annoying.
And we even changed the lighting settings.
I mean, I take really good, if you know me personally, I take a lot of photos, okay? And a lot of them are so good. When it comes down to the pictures of items, that's where my skills fall off the table.
Right. I agree.
Watch it, sir.
You're right. I'm not going to disagree with you.
Watch it.
I'm trying to get her to start doing more zooms on her photos. Now she's like, zooms of what? Well, zooms into the logo, zooms into key features of the item, right? These are things, zooms into the tags, things like that. I think look at, let's say, Target. Go to like a Target.com, check out items and see how they present their stock photos.
I just don't see. I mean, I can take my fingers and zoom in on the picture myself. So why can't other people?
Because people are lazy. You know that. They don't read. So why are they going to Zoom? If they don't read, why would they Zoom? Denny says, finally figured out how to get into live. Is everyone else having eBay photo tool leaving background remnants in the lower left corners? Is there a fix? That tool, I mean, it's basic. It's very, very basic. I tried to use it again and was trying to say, okay, maybe I can just use this tool and get rid of photo. I can't get
that thing to work to save my life.
It's like
it always leaves something in the background.
Prosser, Jenna should come on the show every Monday and Friday. Well, it's not my choice. It's the audience's choice. Thomas says ProCam app for total control of iPhone camera, game-changing pics. So check that.
Wait, what?
ProCam. So she's going to look that up. Damon D. Big Dog. I just blocked the buyer after they told me I'm going to buy it, but if it's not right, I'll return it. Usually a sign that they're going to switch it out. Yeah, or they ask the 30,000 questions before they buy it. So they're going to be that customer. You might want to, maybe it's a dog item's been sitting in your, wherever for the longest time and you haven't been able to sell it. Maybe take that chance. Otherwise, move on and wait for the next customer to come.
If it's the $9.99 one or the free one?
Well, I'm sure Tommy pays for it.
Well, you pay for it? John can pay for it.
I do. I pay for a lot of these apps. Let's see. Piggy Ricky says, I buy most Stephen King books I find at the sale. I did find a Stephen King book, and I did pick it up because they're only like 50 cents or $1. It's a hardcover. Fisher Flip says, all I sell is clothing, and I love it. Easy to store, easy to ship, and it's abundant to source. High competition, though. Yeah. So I guess to me, the only way to make that work is you're buying big brands, and you're buying like vintage that have comps. See, the comps are the key. You buy just random stuff that, oh, this looks cute, or, I like the color. Well, it may not sell if you're not looking at the comps. Make sure the comps, support buying it.
Yes, Tommy, I do clean the back of the camera.
Yes, the controls on ProCam are like a DSR camera. Okay, got to check that. Okay. Got to baby fees buyers with all the zooms because they're lazy to even read. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those, or baby feed, that is, buyers with all the zooms. Yeah, it looks professional. Like if you're showing like blems, there's no way a buyer can say, I didn't see this here. And well, yeah, you didn't look at the photos.
Look at the photos either. I mean, well, we could use that same argument for.
Well, but you do everything you can to say that you did your due diligence.
I'll do what you
should. I need to hear that more often.
No.
Okay. Dumb question. Have you cleaned the back of the phone? Mine gets nasty and the pics become awful. Yeah, you can like touch the lens with your finger and get all the oil on there.
His is always nasty.
And I'm always wiping it down. Free ones, the free version.
One. Okay. Got it. I got it.
1,000 viewer prediction for Just a Jenna video. Just Jenna, that's a good title.
Oh no.
What do you want to talk about?
No.
We can make it happen.
No.
Been watching a lot of stuff like Mr. Beast and stuff. Not like I want to be like him. I just want to try to bring the production value into the live, not the live, but the recorded videos. So going to work on some things. I need to do better. I'm trying to always improve no matter what it is. I mean, no matter what I do, I'm trying to get better.
I appreciate that, Aunt, but I don't know that I have a lot of content to bring other than what John has already given or will continue to do.
Tommy likes to pay for his, so it's only $9.99. Is that a year or a month? And Fisher Flips is about high sell-through rate and low cost of goods. I agree with that 100%. Poke Day, or Pokey Day, or is it Poke Day? Poke Day. Moving to all clothes myself once I list my death pile.
As in Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Well, it is Pokey.
It is a one-time charge of $9.99.
Oh, that's good then. You should get it.
That's actually good.
ProCam 8. I don't know if that's what it is. ProCam 8.
Oh.
And
yes.
Okay. I don't know. It's
see, I can't do this.
This is a Logitech video cam. It's not going to. Yeah, it's not going to. It says, Noah Design says, Tommy, drop the sub payment and get the free one. Some of the other controls on the pay I don't even touch nor use. And Mindy says, it would be nice to see thrifting with Jenna.
It may not be so nice. I don't really, though, if I thrift the way I shop, which is kind of annoying, especially for John, I go back around the store multiple times and I'll pick something up and I'll put it back. And then I'll go around the store and I'll go back to the same thing. I do not like shopping with him. He doesn't have patience at all when it comes to me and shopping. So, I mean, it could be fun. We could do it, but I couldn't do it at the bins.
Yeah.
That stresses me out. I was so stressed out when we went to the bins. I couldn't. People are literally somebody took a cart. This woman took a cart and shoved it right into me. I was done after that, because see, I can get lippy sometimes and I didn't want to do that. So yeah. I just took my cart and I went to the side because I wasn't about to get thrown out of the bins.
I need to get a GoPro first. I haven't gotten a GoPro yet.
Yes.
I need to probably get a GoPro. He
does need one.
I don't want to be like every other channel out there. I want to make
it'd be fun to change it up every once in a while.
Yeah. I don't want to be like that guy who does what like Carrie from American Arbitrage is doing. That's his thing. Of course, he's very successful at it. I don't want to, try to be what everyone else is. I want to try to stay in my lane. Of course, I want to make sure that not only am I providing good information, but I want to make it somewhat entertaining as well, because it can get dry and blah if you're just watching. Here goes another video John made about, why I should do this.
Okay. Complaining about eBay again.
Yeah. Well, and that's not what I want to be. I want to be informative. So
we can't film at our bins either.
Yeah.
We got scolded.
Some people can.
At ours, we got warned the first time, and then some lady, after that had happened, it caused them to do an announcement over the speaker.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, they're serious.
Yeah, they don't like it.
They don't play.
Tegan Germschild says, I have been following all your instructions on listing 10 items a day, sending offers, shipping ASAP for the past month, and not really any improvements. I don't get it. My items are all in demand. So there's got to be a problem. So if you have comps, like other people selling the same item, could be your price is too high. Could be that your photos aren't either clear or you don't have enough photos. Could be, a lot of things. It's not just half the battle is the quality of the item that you're selling. So there's got to be something else that isn't going on your listing. So you just got to go back and look.
You can email John and he'll take a look.
I'll look. Yeah. Email me flippingainteasy2020@gmail.com.
She said, where'd she go? Let's scroll down a little bit. She said, wear video glasses.
Oh yeah.
The bins.
Yeah. Miriam says, I went twice to the Phoenix bins. It was gross. It was itching all over yeah. You get the dirtiest hands. It is disgusting. It's like you start digging through the bins. People wear gloves, and I almost cut myself on like sharp objects because people are just grabbing stuff. One lady got hit in the back with a piece of furniture.
Let's put it this way. When we came back from the bins, we both showered.
Yeah, you don't feel clean.
You don't feel clean. I mean, I thought I was going to lose my mind with the little bit that I touched, but I handed him the alcohol or the sanitizer. And when we got in the car, that wasn't good enough.
Tommy says price is off, shipping is off, promoted listings, title, pics, and so on. So you got to look at all those things. The response is, my prices are cheap, photos are great. I have 1,700 items listed. Okay, so now here we go. How's your return policy? Is it a friendly return policy? Because you can get lowered in the algorithm? How's your promoted listings? Some people refuse to use promoted listings and they get penalized for it. You know, there's all kinds of factors. Are you accepting offers? Are you, you know, charging for shipping versus your competition? They're not. So look at try to emulate what the successful people are doing that are selling the same items. Look at their listings, see what they're doing, see how they're doing it, copy that, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be doing that. Miriam, Miriam asked, how many bin stores in Vegas? There's the Goodwill bins, and there's this other one that you wanted to go to, like that one liquidator that has some phony bins.
Oh, but they're not a bin store. They're an actual store. It's Bulldog Liquidations. We went when they were at their old location, and their pictures on their Facebook look like a great store. We walked in and we literally walked right back out. It was awful. And I found out that they were moving like the next week into a bigger building. And so I'd like to go see, because now they're advertising that they have $5 bins, $10 bins. I want to know what that is, what's actually in the bins.
So Andy, check for because they're not really labeled as Goodwill bins. It's just the Goodwill Clearance Center.
Yeah.
And that's how they do it. And I think, like I told you in the previous video, it's ridiculous because all they have to do is price their items appropriately in the store, and they wouldn't even need a Goodwill bins. But
exactly.
Tegan says, I have no promoted listings. So that's probably part of the thing. Your competition's beating you because they're getting more exposure. Yeah. Pokey Day says, I need to change my return policy right now. I have no returns. You know what? You can always give it a try. Maybe do it for do it for the rest of the year. Yeah. See if you have a difference in sales.
And we're not saying that what we say is gold. You know,
I am.
Try it. Try it for yourself. Try it for a month. Try it for 30 days and see what happens. You never know.
Yeah. Tommy says, I sell around 12 to 25 a day with 290 listings of 70% in demand items. So, yeah. So that's kind of what I'm hoping with these shoes that I have, just getting them up. It's just, the cleaning's fun and all that, and just got to get them up. We started to do that, and hopefully we'll see. And I'm selling all other kind of stuff too. So maybe it's because I'm not niche down or whatever, but I'm going to do the best that I can with it.
Tegan said, I sell maybe one a day.
Power sports parts. So, but okay.
That's actually a good one. I mean, parts do sell.
But again, you've already seen that the items sell because you're looking at your competition selling. So again, emulate what they're doing. Maybe take the same kind of photos. Maybe you're not using clear like white background. Maybe they are. Look at promoted listings. You already identified you're not doing that. Look at your return policies.
There's always going to be some little kink that's going to throw you down to the bottom. And the one where you're not doing promoted, that could be it. That could be the one thing that sets you apart from the others. So try it and see if it makes a big difference.
Yeah. Bulk at it 5.9% for 2 weeks and let us know. So I think Tommy's at 6. That's why he wants you to promote at 5.9. I don't know. Just
always causing trouble.
I am top rated. So the benefits are a higher exposure. So eBay sees that you're doing well enough to be considered top rated. So they're going to see that the buyer is going to get a better experience than if someone has a similar item, even priced cheaper, that's maybe above standard or, below that. So, strive to get your store level to, or your seller level to top rated. I don't care about top rated plus. It's, to me, not that big of a deal. Just top rated is good enough, I think. And then Tegan says, I can't use white background. I will send an email. Yeah, send me an email. I'll take a look and see.
I can't use white background. So use a black background, or use one solid color that will make the item pop out.
And here's a hack that Tommy wants me to share with you guys. He really wants you guys to promote at 1%. So if you can change your percentage to 1%, I think he'd appreciate that. But you can't, because it's not an option anymore.
Come on.
Yeah, the higher the percentage, the better, I think. So guys, we're at the end of our.
I do use black. Okay.
Okay.
Well, send John an email.
Let's see. Greg Smith. Let's see what he has to say. I stopped auctions and went straight to buy it now on offers. I'm moving things around from eBay to FBM. So that's Facebook Marketplace and Instagram. Trying to spread, but not too thin. Also, it's a good promo rate. I started at 10% for now at 5.5. I mean, start off at 3%, and then like Tommy said, try 6. Of course, we don't know what our competition's using, but if you're using a rate that's like 3%, that's not enough, because I would never do 2%, because everyone else that doesn't want to use promoted, that just kind of reluctantly is using promoteds at 2%. So be above that, but maybe start at 3, go to 6, go to 10, or maybe what I've been doing lately with the shoes is I just been using the suggested rate. And I've been doing the suggested because I'm into these shoes.
So long we did 1.1.
Well, that was when it was before the whole 2% change. But look, I'm into these shoes for $2 a pair. If I'm trying to sell them for 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks a pair, depending on what they are, I got lots of room to work with. And it's just, to me, saying I don't want to do promoted listings because I don't want to charge any money. It's greed. And I don't want to be, that guy just to wait for the unicorn buyer. I'm trying to move these items. And if it means I'm taking $5 less than I would normally on a pair of shoes, and I'm still making money, that's kind of where it's at.
Yay, Prosser did 3 sales while we've been on this live.
I know,
you took all my live.
Took all my sales.
You took all my sales.
Yeah, I didn't get anything. So, guys, we're over an hour and a half, and I just want to thank each and every one of you guys
thank you
for hanging out with us today. Without you guys, it's just an old guy talking to himself or having a little debate with his wife here in front of in front of a camera that no one's watching. But however you decide to run your business, just know that the one thing, if I was to tell you, do and don't do anything else I say, and that is change your return policies to get rid of that no return policy, because it's really meaningless to eBay. They can't stand it. They don't like your listings. They're gonna penalize you in the long run, and you need to start looking at eBay as a long run game and not just one transaction that you're afraid of. But yet it's just another example of how sometimes flipping ain't easy. And I want you guys to have a great start to your week, and you will hear from us, or at least me. I don't know if she's going to be in the next video or not. That's up to her. Very soon.
Happy Halloween.
Yes. Answer that door. There's some kids coming to your house for some candy.